All right. Well, you know how we start. I want ask yourself these questions because whenever you start to get told about certain things, you might want to start to do some research on it. And then here's the thing: when somebody else has a different spin on it, they tend to get criticized, right? I was talking about the flower of life and how we are all the flower of life, and then I correlated that to different ways to open up that flower and what's the purpose of a flower, because we're all bees, right? We're being human, we're human beings, but that little honey bee is always looking for that open flower. It's going to get something out of that flower, and us as human, we're like bees in a way, trying to find that nectar in each one of the individuals that we come in contact with, but not only just finding the nectar, but see what we can exploit out as well, right? Because that's what humans do. And I use the examples, and I tied a video how people are vortexes and black holes and portals, and it's just basically how the same way you would see the Vesica Pisces in the whole design of the flower of life, they correlate the Vesica Pisces with a womb, and a womb receives, right? And you go into a womb. What do you get out of it, right? You get some type of creation, which is basically out of the womb comes the child. I've made many videos on this topic where the creation story, you came out of you designed the portal, and it had the involved the split between man and woman. But we are all the flower of life. You look at the word life in, flower of life. You got the tree of life. Okay? The tree of life. We're like walking trees. And the thing is that us humans, we are like walking trees. We're made of water. And we're light beings, right? You got the word memori, you use the prefix and the suffix, and memori means water and light. All right, so we're light beings, we're made of water, we hold memory, and we are also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Why is this? Because we also have estrogen and testosterone within our system. The whole entire, serpent and whatnot, it's all basically a negative polarity, and we have the whole concept of good and evil is just all negative and positive polarities. I'm gonna get deeper into all these little things that we look at, but who even named it, right? The flower of life, right? What is that? You hear the word flower of life and you want to put it in a category where it's like something divine, right? So like, how could you connect that when everything is basically in nature? This is what the flower of life is. Everything you see in nature. Well, you are a product of nature. Your body's a product of the mind, which is making real whatever it is you're looking outside of yourself, called the flower of life. We're also the walking cross. Some would say, how could you correlate, the cross that, Christ died in with the body? I mean, what do you think you are? You are Christ consciousness, and you are enduring the sins of the world. I mean, why did Christ die on the cross? Right? You got the cross. You can make your body look exactly like the cross. Just stick your arms out, and that's what you are, a walking cross. You carry this cross. Everything in life, when you look at spirituality and science, you could look at science. How beautiful of a scientific, how advanced science has to be that you can basically create everything compacted into an individual outside of yourself. So when you say we are all walking planets, universes, and whatnot, I mean, I look at the body of Christ. The body is the knowledge of good and evil. The body is the tree of life. The body is the dark side and the light side of the tree. The body is life and death. It's all of that happening as soon as you encounter human beings outside of yourself, and they are all reflections and mirror of yourself. How advanced this technology is that it's like basically showing you what you are. So you put out a frequency, okay, and you get back a reflection. Here's the funny part. I heard this example where if you have a lemon and you squeeze the lemon as hard as you can only get lemon juice out of it. You can't get apple juice. But if you squeeze an orange or whatever you squeeze out of whatever you're squeezing, you can only get the contents of what the content is about. So whatever you are, you'll see outside of you, because that's basically the same way I would use the analogy of squeezing the fruit. It's what's coming out of you. And if you're not happy with what's coming out of you, then you are in masculine energy. You apply your consciousness to the negative portions of whatever you're not content with in your life. That's shedding life on negative things. That's the masculine having guidance over the chaotic natures of the feminine energy. So things are negative, they're feminine, right? So when you have awareness, you shed light on it, and you have the ability to transmute it or discard it. I mean, it's up to you. God give life to certain things, God take it away. Now, that I'm not going to make this video too long. That's basically all I wanted to cover for this little portion, because there's people who are so indoctrinated that they can't hear certain things correlated with other things when everything is basically connected. Everything's talking about the same thing, just in different ways. You know, it's kind of like a child when they stand on top of the dinner table and you tell them, get down, get down. The dinner table is for eating, not for jumping. I mean, who says, right? Who says? I mean, it's just the way it is, right? We have a home and we put our bed in the bedroom, but who says you can't put a bed in the living room? Why can't you put a TV in the bathroom? I did it at one point. I remember when I was living in New York and I was living like I thought I was fucking Donald Trump. I had a TV in the bathroom. I had TVs in every fucking room, even in the kitchen. But I had a TV in the bathroom only because I wanted to watch TV while I was taking a shit. But if you really think about it, suppose that your freedom was taken away, then you're going to basically have all that in one room. You'll have your bathroom in your bedroom. You'll have your kitchen in your bathroom. I mean, everything is there in one cell, right? But because you have freedom and you have a home, then everything's got little individual sections and you got to follow that. So it's like the same way. You can't say certain things. You can't do certain things because you deviate from the script. So you're telling a child how to act in society. Why are you acting like that? When we're all acting, but if you deviate from the script, you tell them, learn how to act, right? Teach your child how to act in public. And then it's the same way where if you deviate from the script, people will tell you, you shouldn't do that, right? And who says I can't do that? I can do as I choose. I was watching videos on, and I'm gonna make a separate video on this, on basically girls who were doing OnlyFans and whatnot, and you know how the whole demonization process happened. I'm gonna make that probably my next video. I've got a couple of things I've got lined up I want to talk about, but I wanted to talk about this and address this in particular because there's some people who just criticize just certain things, right? I made the example of how everything works with each other, like angels and demons work with each other. I mean, I use that. I look at that at even how it works in nature. We're all walking trees, as I said, right? I look at a tree in nature, and there's things that are underground that cannot live above ground. So there's things above ground that cannot live underground. So I look at that and I say that looks kind of like what angels and demons would look like. And the tree is the medium. But without the tree, there would be no medium for the what's underneath to work with what's above, and for what's above to work from what's underneath. So you got human beings who are the mediums, right? And you have these things working with each other. So let me give you a little bit of an explanation here as to what I mean by these things working with each other. You know why human beings are phenomenal? Because you're not these energies, but you are basically a reflection of these energies. These are basically versions of yourself. And the way I say this is like angels. Angels are what belongs above ground but cannot live underground, right? So angels are never meant to fall, okay? Because if they ever fell, that means they were never angels to begin with. Okay? The same way demons are not meant to rise, they are meant to be demons underground. They are meant to be demons. Angels are meant to be angels. So the medium now, when you look at it like this, humans, if they rise, they have the potential to fall. But just like, like an angel is not meant to fall, human beings fall, but they have the ability to rise up again, right? So it's kind of like a transmutation of the energy, if you really want to look at it. But now here's the beauty part about it. When you have a tree, the tree gets fed from the mycelium network under the soil, okay? And in kind, the tree feeds that mycelium network that lives underground because it cannot get above ground, all right? Because it won't survive above ground. It has to stay underground, but it needs what is above ground. So the tree brings the energy from the sun, the life force frequency, everything that's above the ground, brings it down the trunk into the mycelium network, and in kind, that mycelium network feeds the tree from underneath. There's a symbiotic relationship happening there. Now, when something happens to the tree and it can't sustain itself anymore, and it can't basically bring from above down to the mycelium network tends to become now parasitic and starts to feed off the tree. That's why you see the mushrooms growing on the side of the trunk in nature. So beautiful examples as to humans having order and control over their lower animalistic chaotic natures, or they tend to overcome and take over you, right? Because you're above ground, you have order and structure over the chaotic natures of the feminine energy. And I'm gonna make more examples of this as we go along, because I mean men and women, they work with each other. If you can't find that common ground, then you're imbalanced. And I'm gonna make more examples of this. In fact, just start to consider yourself homosexual, okay, if that's the case. And I'm gonna make a video on that, explaining it even further. Like, share, and subscribe. That does help my channel out a lot. We will talk soon.